We're live. Welcome to another episode of Wide Awoke Wednesday. I'm in the building with Poetically Soulful. In all transparency, we had a last minute change for today's episode. My co-host Tiffany Marie got tied up with some other things, so maybe she'll be joining us a little later. However, for right now, to make sure we roll on time, Poetically Soulful has stepped in to fill the gap. Thank you, thank you.
Hey, always,
All right,
always, anytime.
so our original topic was mental health awareness in honor of this month being suicide prevention.
Yes.
So that topic was being spearheaded by the lovely Tiffany Marie. So we're just gonna kind of have a table talk conversation between Poetically Soulful and myself. If anyone taps in and you want to leave a comment or question or anything to help steer the conversation, feel free. If not, we'll be chopping it up.
Chop, chop.
All right.
So,
So I'm not. Go ahead.
no, go for it.
All right, so I'm not really particularly aware of why this month is Suicide Prevention Month.
Okay.
However, what I do know is the value and the importance of mental health and how devastating things can get when we don't give the proper attention to our mental health. Do you have any knowledge on why this month was mental health? Suicide Prevention Month?
Not as to why is suicide prevention month, but I kind of just feel as though like certain things just happen. Kind of like next month is breast awareness month, breast cancer awareness month. Sorry.
I'm about to say
Um,
they got awareness for breast awareness. What?
breast cancer awareness month. It's next month. I don't necessarily think it's like a reason per se. I just think it made it that national day. Um, but I'm gonna definitely research that just to see if um there's a reason. Miss Tiffany Marie, welcome.
Welcome.
Sorry, guys. The new phones work.
Okay. Well, everybody, Tiffany Marie has joined us, and as I previously stated, she was spearheading today's topic. So now that she's here, we can get back on topic instead of off topic. So we turn the floor over to you, Miss Tiffany.
Okay. Well, the topic was mental health and suicide awareness. Um, I'm not like a guru at it, but I definitely experienced it. I definitely went through the entire, I'm still going through the mental health thing here, but I definitely experienced suicide. And with September being Suicide Awareness Month, give me one moment, turn her down. Being Suicide Awareness Month, I just wanted to kind of speak on suicide a little bit. Um, there are several numbers that you can call when it comes to suicide and um, needing the help or even just needing someone to talk to. Give me a second to look those numbers up. Um, Hotline. I'm looking up something totally different. Anyway, so there's a crisis hotline that people can call when they're going through things. When I was younger, even as an adult, I was going through a whole lot. I was in a psych ward twice for attempting to commit suicide, and I survived both attempts. Um, so I'm a suicide survivor. However, I went through a really hard time. Being in those psych wards, it is really different. It's like a jail for crazy folk. Let's just say that. It's nothing but white walls. It's nothing but white everywhere. There's no windows. There's no nothing. So it made me feel like I didn't belong there. It made me feel like it took me deeper into the whole suicide thing, because it's like, what am I here for? Why am I here? What is going on? It feels like I'm in jail, in prison. Um, I definitely took heed to everything that I learned inside of the psych ward, because they used to have classes that'll teach you church and just different things and how to cope with certain, depressions and things like that. So I took heed, and after getting out, I just kind of, I do a lot of writing, of course, because I'm a poet, but it helped me get through the whole suicide thing. Suicide is really serious, and it's taking over a lot more these days. People are feeling like it's just the easiest way out, feel like people don't care about them, feel like this is the only way they can get out of here. um, I say call 988. 988 is a suicide crisis hotline where you can call. They have people that will talk to you. They have people that will walk you through whatever it is that you're going through, like therapy on the go. It's kind of what I call it. And you can call from anywhere in the world, no matter where you are. 988 will get you to where it is that you need to be. Um, Suicide is so very serious. Please talk to somebody. Please talk to a cousin, a aunt, a mom, a dad, whoever you feel comfortable with, school counselor, friends, anybody. Really talk to somebody, because it's really taken over. It's actually pretty sad, how much it's affected a lot of people in today's society, especially the young people. And bullying is a really big part of the suicide. People feel worthless when they get bullied. So suicide is like the easiest thing for them. I definitely, like I said, been through a situation that was very similar. So suicide is hard to beat, and it's hard to come out of and move forward from, but you can do it. Anyone can do it. I have a lot of faith in everybody. Just talk to somebody. I think talking to somebody is the biggest thing, because a lot of what we be feeling when we're going through the whole thought process of suicide is not having someone there, not having someone to talk to, not having someone to understand you, not having someone to vent to, just not having it. So talk to somebody, vent to somebody, let them know what you have going on, because it's going to save your life. It's very important. It definitely is a lifesaver. Just have somebody to talk to. It's very, very, very important. Um, and that's just kind of my take on suicide awareness. Just talk to somebody, write it down, write your feelings down. Some people use Facebook as an outlet. I'm one of those people. It's not the healthiest, but it definitely is an outlet. So use whatever outlet you can to get out how you feel, if you know it's going to save your life. And it definitely saved my life, being able to talk to whoever was listening. Don't have a big support group of people who's going to just listen to me when I'm feeling depressed, but I do know that expressing my feelings and writing them down, or even just talking to somebody, can really save my life at a time where I feel like my life doesn't matter. So 988, call them, call from any phone, house phone, cell phone. Just make sure you talk to somebody, because it is very, very important. Your life is very important, and you actually mean something to somebody. Um, and so that's my take on suicide. Awareness, for sure. Don't want to get too deep into it, because it's different for everybody, but there are things out there that can help, and there are people that will listen, for sure.
Yes, ma'am. So before you came on, we were discussing the idea of September being Suicide Prevention Month and the history behind that.
Hmm.
Do you know? Does it have anything to do with the statistics, or the season going into the fall? Does that have a influence on the suicidal numbers, or do you have any knowledge of that at all?
So I don't have any knowledge of that
Okay,
at all. If
okay,
I was
okay.
to just give my personal opinion, I would probably say, going into these seasons, the fall season,
Mhm.
it's it's getting cold. Everybody's with their families. Everybody's with their significant others. Kids are going back to school. So this may just be a really hard time for a lot of people, which is probably why they have September as Suicide Prevention Month. I do not know. I don't have like a clue, but if I was to take a guess, or even just try to shoot, the guess, that would be it.
So I had the chance to just Google,
Yes,
me.
ma'am.
I just Googled something, just asking like, what is the history of September Suicide Prevention Month? And it was declared as National Suicide Prevention Month Awareness Month in 2008. Since then, it just has been a time to acknowledge those affected by suicide, um, raise awareness, and
Okay.
connect individuals with suicidal indentations to treatment and services. I got that from an article from AETC. Um, so
Okay.
it looks like there is just something that was declared at
Yeah.
that moment, but there's no
Mhm.
real like history or so behind why it has to be September.
Mm.
Right. Okay. Okay. Well, Tiffany, you mentioned a few things as far as why or what. Excuse me, if y'all can hear that. What promotes or provokes suicide? You gave a few examples of like
Mhm.
being bullied, feeling like you're by yourself. I'm understanding like a form of isolation. Um, and you shared a few resources as far as a toll free number and the 988 for people to be able to reach out to if they do feel like they're in that space and they require some support. um, do you think that when a person is in that space that they're always conscious that they're in that state, or is it possible that it's similar to like depression? Because some people are depressed and they don't know that they're depressed until they speak with someone else. So, what are some indicators that people can utilize to determine that they're in that space and that they should reach out?
Um.
Speaking from your own experience, since you shared that
Uh,
you've experienced it yourself.
my own experience. Speaking from my own experience, I'd say my clear indicators were I was always crying. I never wanted to
Mhm.
talk to anybody. Like I never would say how I was feeling. I would always lock myself in a closed in space. So, a bathroom, a closet, something of that sort, just to be by myself, even though I wanted to be around people, if that made sense. Like, I can't really, it's hard to describe, but I would always want someone to be there for me. But knowing that there was no one there for me, I would isolate myself instead of going to look for the help. um Someone who is just talking crazy. I at one point in time was just I would send out a text message to my grandma or my mom and be like, listen, I love you. I have a lot going on. I don't know where this is going to lead me to. I don't know what's going to happen in my life. I've sent a couple of those text messages out before. And sometimes a cry for help is really just that, like a cry for help. Like I really need someone to understand that I'm going through something. I really don't know how to express what I'm going through, but I need somebody to be there. Those are my personally clear indicators for me, just the way I talk and what I'm saying, my emotions, how they be all over the place, and just how I isolate myself and lock myself away from people.
Mhm. And what was one of the tools that you utilized to pull yourself out of the wanting to isolate yourself from people?
um I don't have any tools. I pulled myself out of
Mm,
that. Like I
mm,
did a lot of self-reflection, just knowing that I have a bigger purpose, here, and I have more to live for, is kind of what brought me out of it. At the time, I
mm,
didn't have any children, so my kids were not a factor. It just was, do I really want to die? Is it really worth it? Is it really dying? Is it really worth dying for because I feel this way? Or should I just go get me some help?
mm.
Hold on. I'm
And,
sorry.
and you decided to go and get the help.
I believe that's what she was stating, that she decided to get that
Mm,
help and kind of put herself out of the situation at hand. Um, when it comes to um, something that's crazy, I can say is the fact that I actually used to work for a suicide prevention line. Um, so when they called the number in my area and stuff like that, I was the person. I was one of the people that people talk to, um, and that in its own kind of just allowed me to see like the mental state of a lot of different individuals.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned that like I can't say it's not bad. It's not that bad.
Mm-hmm.
I can say that it can be worse. And
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the things I hope people understand. Like I understand things are bad. You're right. Things are really bad. Things are horrible at the moment. But there's someone out here that's going through something way worse and they're still here. And they're still going through it. So like whatever you're going through, it can be worse. So
Right.
like don't think about it as, you got to die because, this happened or, you have to take your life because this happened. Like Tiffany said, you can get through it and you can come out on top. Tiffany is one of millions of suicide survivors. It's not just one, it's not just two, it's
They're still
millions of
wrapped up.
survivors out
It's
here.
still open because I spoke yesterday,
So
so I guess we'll see where
I'm
whatever
just
they.
thankful that, you know, everyone survived.
All right, Tiffany, I muted your mic. There was some interference in the background. Whenever it um, dies down, then you can unmute your mic. Um, I agree, and I think Tiffany mentioned earlier about the young people and
Yeah.
how suicide, is really affecting the youth. And I don't have experience personally with suicide. However, I did mentor and love on a young man that was dealing with that in and of himself, and one of the things that I realized, looking at things from a spiritual, energetic perspective, there are, several youth who are navigating Earth,
Mhm.
um, and they're seeing how things are unfolding, right? Like they see all of the pain, they see the unfair treatment, they see the murders happening all over the world and mainly in their own neighborhoods, and it puts them in a place of despair because it's like, what is the purpose?
Yeah.
Why am I here? Like, what's the point of all of this? And what I found in mentoring him and working with him on an energetic and spiritual level is that, and him and the youth being nurtured in the way that they understand that they are part of the solution to change what it is that they see and help them navigate their unique path, because many of them are not going to follow the same traditional path that many of our forefathers have done. Like they're not interested in 9 to 5 jobs. They're not interested in going to school for 18 years, you know what I mean? And spending all this money
Yeah.
on degrees. They're not interested in the traditional way because they have this fire and independence within them, right? So I think part of, the solution, it's not a one size fits all, right? However, I think
Mhm.
one of the solutions to explore is the spiritual aspect of it. Some people have, how do I want to say it and not sound crazy? Um, so if you're an individual that believes that, we came here more than once, you know what I mean? Like this is not our first time on earth, right?
Yeah.
That then it would be considerable to take note that it's possible that there's a excuse me, there's an influence of past life energies that may be affecting you, that makes you not want to be here. So getting grounded in your body, clearing the energy from your energetic field, are helpful tools to get grounded in the reality and shift one's thinking of not wanting to be here and seeing what can come from you to make the reality, even if it's in your small circle, right? Affect immediately what's around you and then branch it out to cause the experience to be more tolerable. I think that's something that's worth exploring. So I'm sharing that in addition to the resources that Tiffany Marie expressed with the phone numbers, tap into, different ways of thinking, right? Different ways of healing. So you can get Reiki sessions, you can get chakra balancing, you can do past life regressions, you can do getting your aura cleansed. You can, it's such a variety of things that you can do on an energetic basis to help bring some balance to that. And I'm proud to say that, and me working with the young man, it did help. It did help put some things in perspective for him and help ground him. I feel like it's the longer you're in that space, the harder you have to work to get out of it.
Mhm.
So it's going to take quite a bit of consistency on the individual's part to, really break free of that. However, each step moving forward, it counts for something, right? It has value to it. So, like Tiffany shared, every life has value. Every life is important. So if anybody ever feels like, you're not important, you don't have nothing to contribute, I would challenge you to think twice about that. You know what I mean? And look at it from a different perspective. Because you may not be somebody that's gonna, make six figures and, be a CEO or, have 3 degrees or whatever it is that the standard that you're holding yourself to. However, whatever's naturally in you to come out is of great benefit to the world. So just want to, throw that spiritual energetic aspect out there as well.
It was very needed this morning.
Absolutely.
I was definitely I'm not gonna say down in the dumps, but I've been going through like a mental reset. So it definitely was needed. I needed to hear that.
Great.
Awesome.
And hopefully our listeners are benefiting as
Oh,
well.
for sure.
I want to shout out, because I could see it on my end. You have some supporters of yours, Tiffany Marie, in the comments. You have author Nikki Nicole, who is here to support you, and Shira Renee is also here to support you. I can't remember which one. However, you're one of their favorite poets, so they're here and they're very proud of you. They're proud of you for being a survivor, and they're grateful that you're still here. So make sure
Definitely. I love them
shout out
both.
to
They're
people.
both very, very awesome. And so, and speaking with them, they have podcasts of their own, and I've been a guest on their podcast as well. And their podcast kind of dug deep into my mental and just my emotions and the things. So it actually really helped me deal with a lot of stuff that I've been dealing with on the back end, not knowing how to maneuver through. And so I really do appreciate the podcast and the things that we talk about, because it helps everybody, and it definitely helps me. I definitely need the help still. I'm very honest about it. I definitely still need the help. So
That's
it doesn't
beautiful. It
stop.
reminds me of how it takes a village, right? And how we all can be of support in one way or another to each other, especially when we operate in the frequency of love,
Yes.
so that's a beautiful thing, and a nice shout out, to them. So again, I did share in the comments. Thank you for you all being here. Author Nikki did say that she's always here for you. So she got your back, girl.
I definitely appreciate it. A lot of that is needed in the world. We need a lot of that in the world, because it's not just me, So I try, anytime I see someone, I try to always be nice, be happy, because you never know how much a smile or a hey, how's your day, or a good morning can really change a person's entire mood. You never know how they wake up. They probably were waking up thinking like, dang, I'm sorry. Or thinking like, today may be my last day living. I'm feeling a certain type of way. And then a person can hit them with a good morning. You're loved. I'm thinking about you. I hope you're having a good day. And that can change a whole person's, just thought process. And so I try to be nice to everybody. I try to smile when I see people. I try to speak to everybody, because like I said, you never know whose day it's going to make, whose life it's going to save, who, it's going to keep alive around here. Like we need each other. And we're going through a time right now in the world where we're against each other, and it's actually pretty sad. But in times like this is when, like you say, that village is needed, is really needed. Yeah. I feel like the older I get, I need a bigger village. I do. Does that sound crazy?
No,
Because as a young
it makes sense.
As a young person, yeah, we need a village. Of course, we need people to care, be there, all of that. But as an adult, it gets hard because they feel like when you're an adult, you don't need. I was only supposed to carry you till I was 18, then you on your own. Like, oh no, I still need you. I still need that support. I still need that love. Don't just stop giving it to me because I'm 18 years old and I'm an adult now. No, I need more as I get older. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I
It makes
agree.
sense.
I agree. And I think that mindset of once your child becomes 18, they're adult, go figure it out, is a perpetuation of a traumatic cycle because nobody at 18 knows what the hell they're doing. People in their 40s, we still figuring this thing out because it didn't come with no manual. And again, when you add in the spiritual and the energetic aspect of it, it makes it even more intricate in the fact that it takes time to evolve and figure things out. So you just throwing people out to the wolves, at 18, you just creating more trauma. And even in the idea that you shared about, being kind, being a kind spirit, being a beacon of light when you interact with people is very, very valuable because, it's many of people that I'm aware of that in doing that I've touched. So just imagine the amount of people that I'm not aware of, right? That was touched by a smile, a hug. Hugs are life changing. Like hugs, the energetic exchange that takes place in a hug and how people can be disarmed and their aura can be cleansed just from a hug to help fortify them. And it's like doing a spark or a charge to the battery. Now they feel rejuvenated and they feel like they can carry on another day. So I'm most certainly in harmony with that. And that's something that I think that if more of us, operated in that way and just came out of our own, minute bubble to understand how we're all connected. What they say, 6 degrees of separation, we're all connected. So, what I put out, someone else can experience that, whether I know it or not. So why not put out all the good juju and I put out all the good vibes, you know what I mean? So, for people to experience. So yeah, I think this was a very valuable topic for us to explore today, from many different perspectives, having mainly the solutions, right? The solutions and the different creative aspects for people to explore. Because I knew about the suicide prevention line. I never knew about the 988 walk-in therapy. That's very valuable for people to know, that feel like in that moment they don't have anybody to talk to, but they want to talk to somebody, right? Pick up your phone and dial 988, you know what I mean? And
for sure.
And get what it is that you need. So
I definitely encourage men to do it.
Yeah,
Men don't talk. Men don't talk. It
Yeah.
is, and they don't. And I know this was supposed to be like suicide and mental health. So before we kind of end it, I just want to tell all the men out there, if you're listening or even tapping in, talk to somebody. Express yourself. Express how you feel. I mean, I know men, you fellas be out there be feeling like y'all can't talk to anybody because we don't understand and we're gonna throw it in your face or we're gonna be judgmental or whatever the case may be. Find you somebody you trust. Find you somebody you are loyal to or that's loyal to your loving, and express yourself and talk about it. Mental health is really big in the world, and men, in my opinion, is really suffering with it right now. It's a lot of that going around. And so I feel, coming from a woman's perspective, come talk to us. A lot of us don't judge you guys. A lot of us actually are here to help. A lot of us actually want to see men succeed and be successful in life and actually change the narrative of the outlook that is given for black men, white men, whatever. Just get that help, talk to somebody, really express yourself, because it'll help. It's going to help save your life. It's going to help save her life. It's going to help save the next life, because that mental is everything.
Right.
Yeah,
I agree. I think that the narrative that men have been fed, that they cannot be emotional, right? They cannot be expressive of having feelings, has been perpetuated by the responses of some of the women, to make them feel like they sassy or zesty or all of these new age words that women be throwing out there, that cause men to feel even more uncomfortable with expressing themselves. And I know you did say, encourage the brothers to speak to women, and I'm in harmony with that. However, I think that it's important for men to have brotherhood, right? It's important for them to have
Mhm.
other men that they can speak to, because the reality is that only a man can truly understand what another man is going through, right? Just like only a woman can truly understand what a woman is going through with labor and childbirth and postpartum and cycle cramps and all of that, you know. So I definitely encourage men to tighten up on their circles, you know, make sure that they have people around them that they can trust with what it is that they're going through, that's going to give them some positive feedback, not, you know, bring them down even more, you know, perpetuating whatever it is that's being experienced. So thank you for bringing that up. I think that's a great way to end. Make sure we incorporate everybody. We done went women, we done went youth, we done went men. And you know, just the universal principle of the value and importance of mental health. And it's not just September that we want to give attention to this. We want to give attention to this every day. So check on your people, especially your strong friends.
Yes.
Please, your strong
check on your
friends.
strong friends. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Please check on your strong friends.
We struggle.
And make sure, yes, and make sure when somebody comes to your mind, you just reach out. You know what I mean? If you just somebody come to your mind and pass and shoot a text, because you just never know the impact that that might have on someone. So with that note, we thank you all. We thank everybody for tapping in today. Thank you for all the comments and the interaction in the chat. We love y'all.
Yes.
Until the next time, we'll catch you all back on. Let me grab the date real quick. Come on,
My
man.
heart
Let
looked
me
disinformed.
calendar.
There we go.
On October the 9th will be our next, excuse me? Oh, our next episode of Wide Awoke Wednesdays will be, listen, I'm trying to finish closing this out, y'all. Our next episode will be October 9th, Wide Awoke Wednesday. We already have our guests lined up. Poetically Soulful, will you tell everybody who our guest is?
Your guest is gonna be Miss Stephanie Humphreys, I believe is her last name. Where she
Humphreys?
is.
Yes.
Yeah, I believe
yes.
so. She's gonna be an amazing guest. So I'm excited.
Yes. So, on that note, everybody, stay woke.
Okay. I
hit end stream, but it didn't end
No.
stream. Did it end stream?